Hello lovelies, I want to talk to you about brushes today. A lot of people have questions when they're first getting started and they want to know which brush is my favorite and which one works for what, especially if you don't have a lot of experience with brushes. I have been using brushes for many years, even before Maskcara Beauty was developed. And so I have quite a bit of experience with a lot of them, and I've tried many brands, a lot of designer brands. I had what I thought was a really good brush collection before I started using Maskcara Beauty, but I have honestly fallen in love with theirs. You don't get the stray hairs that pop out, and they're very densely packed. They're really soft, so they don't feel like they're like needling your skin, and so I've been really impressed. And I love that every single one of the brushes are double-ended, and so you're getting 2 brushes for the price of 1. So I will start with my very favorite, and I will say that everyone has a different favorite. So my favorite for putting on my highlight colors, my main skin foundation colors, may be different than another person or your preference. But the Detail Hack is my favorite, and I know a lot of other ladies, it is their favorite as well. I like that the large end is big enough to make it go fast, but it's small enough to get in the areas that you need it, that are like smaller. And so it's really dense and it's flat, and so I feel like it gives a really good look on my complexion, more of an airbrushed look. And so I just kind of dab and press the product into my skin. And then I love the small end, and I use this for all of my brightening highlight areas because it's really good, even better for getting into those small little areas and really fine detail along my brows or whatever, where you really want to get in close and you really want to nail it down and to be able to hold it like a pencil. So I also use the small end for my contour lines and sometimes a little contour down here. And so it is really handy for those things. Some people even use the edge, this top corner on the big part, for their contour as well, even for their nose contour. So my favorite, the Detail Hack, and I will have links to everything so that you can take a look at them for yourself down in the description. Next, I believe this may have been Maskcara Beauty's first brush. It's called the 30-second hack. It's very popular. A lot of women use this, and it is their favorite foundation brush. The ends are large, and so you can hit a large area of your face and go really fast. They use this is the contour end, and sometimes they'll like make it a little sharper and do their contour with that, and then use this to get in those tight areas for highlight. So I know I said that I use this sometimes with a contour, but probably even more often I will use this as a contour. It depends on how tight I want my line. This is going to be a little bit of a finer line, a thin line, and this is going to be just a little bit heavier. And so as you can see, I've still got a little contour on there, and so I use that, and then I use this domed fluffy end to hit the contour around my hairline, on my jaw, on my chin, and all of those areas. So that is the 30-second hack, and it's pretty handy. This is the Buffy brush, and I don't use it a ton, even though it's a good brush. A lot of people love it. For some people, it is their favorite, and the bristles are really packed dense, even more so than the others. But when you put this on, it's not as easy to spread it around and go quickly. I feel like, at least not for me yet, because I'm not used to using this brush all the time, because this one I feel like is more meant to really pack it on. If you need some heavier coverage, a lot of people say they get a nice airbrushed look with it, but it really packs on the pigment and the color. So if you need to cover areas, melasma or anything like that that is heavy duty, a lot of acne or anything, then this would be a good go-to brush for you because it's so dense, it just concentrates that color right where you put it. So that is the Buffy brush. Next is the B Squared brush. It's the bronzer and blush brush. Love it, use it every day. I use this end for the bronzer every once in a while. If I get a little bit that I just want to sweep away, maybe I get my cheeks too high, or maybe I want to buff out a heavy contour that I've got going on my nose, I just take this really huge, soft, fluffy brush and just barely touch it, and it just sweeps things away. You can also, if you get any fallout, which is the powdery dust from eyeshadow, especially if you're using dark colors, especially if you're like me and you forget to tap them off the excess, then sometimes you'll get a little bit of fallout, and so you can sweep that away with this big fluffy brush. And then this brush, I really love this blush brush because it's really dense and it's a nice domed circular shape. A lot of blush brushes aren't as short and they're much fluffier. And so it gets on a much broader area than you want. And so you can have your cheeks looking like they're sagging inward and sagging down. But this keeps it little and tight exactly where you want it and where you put it. And I kind of dot it on exactly where I want it. I focus on my cheek colors from the half point back, so mainly on the back line of my cheekbone. And this is perfect because it's going exactly where you want it. Some people take this big fluffy end, and if they have really great skin, really young skin, they will just put a light wash of their foundation colors with this big fluffy, just a soft, once over, light, natural, soft look. And so then also some people, like for the summertime, if they want a simple, quick look, they will do this with bronzer and put it all over your face. So you can use this all over your face to apply your color as well. Now for my contour, my nose contour, I use our Multitasker brush, and I usually use it sideways towards the skinny end. Sometimes if I want a little wider part, like here on the end, or if I want to blend it out a little bit, I'll use the wider end, but usually, at least to lay the line, I use the skinny part, and that's what I contour my nose with. Now, a lot of people will use maybe this. I've even seen some use it with this, or their fingers to lay the contours on their nose, but I already have a fairly narrow nose, at least for my ability, and so this just makes it easier to be really specific and really detailed and go exactly where you want that contour to go. A lot of people also, and I've done it as well, if you have a blemish or something that you want to cover, this wide end packs on the color. It's really dense, it's flat, and all the bristles are around the same length. They're a little bit layered on the end, tapered on the end, but you can pack on the color and it just stays put and goes on really heavy where you need it for coverage. I also use this brush, this Multitasker brush, to do my lip line if I want a fast lip liner, and also to apply my lip color. Today I have Black Cherry on, and if you use your finger, some people do that, but it gives you more of a wash of color. It doesn't give the full concentration that a brush will, and so if I want the color brighter and heavier, then I will use this end. And the other tiny little small end, it's like a really thin tapered end. A lot of times I will use this to put on eyeliner and to smudge it. I have also used it for a lip liner as well. And then you can also kind of do your brows to flick those up as you are shaping out your brows. And so that's the Multitasker brush. Love it, use it every day. I use almost all of these brushes every day, but like I said, I'm a little obsessed with brushes because I just feel like they give such a good polished look. So this is our Perfector sponge. It's like a beauty sponge or a beauty blender, but it's really soft. The sponge is really dense, and it gives a nice look. If you rinse this in warm water and then squeeze out all of the excess that you can pat the makeup into your face, and it gives it, you know, especially if you got a little too much product, it kind of buffs that out and maybe absorbs a tiny dab of the product. But even not, it, especially like for textured areas, a lot of times I'll use it around my forehead or the sides of my nose, and it just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of mats it out a little bit and just makes it look good. It like airbrushes it a little, and sometimes I'll even use it to kind of cake on my powder around my nose and right here between my eyebrows if I'm going to be out in hot, humid weather in the summertime, and so it works really well. Some people will apply, and I have done this before and I like it and I really like the look of it, but I just find that I like the brushes better for myself, but either one of them work well. But some people will even apply their makeup with it. I feel like probably the reason I mainly stopped using it for that is because you're absorbing some of your product in it, and you know, with a brush you would be able to get that product next time, you know, it's on there, but with this it kind of like sucks in and then you're cleaning it and cleaning it out. So I feel like you may lose a little bit more product with this, but it absolutely has its place and it's absolutely helpful. And now to do my brows, I use two things. I use the Eyeshadow Everything brush and this pencil brush end. I start out, and that's good for doing my brows. I also use this if I want to make a heavy line of more potent concentrated color. If you use the large fluffy end, which is used for blending out like in your crease and kind of smoothing and smudging and blurring things together along the lines, or putting a wash of color, this is good for that. And I use it every single day. I use it in my crease, I use it for a wash of color. But then if you want it more concentrated and packed, I use the pencil end, and then also to smudge the eyeliner either on the top upper lash line or on the lower lash line. It is the perfect smudger to make your eyeliner smoky. So that is a brush I use every day. And this is the Hotline brush, and it has a flat angled end that is razor thin on this end. And it's a little different than the one you saw earlier, which is a domed tapered flat end. And this is really good for laying a heavier line of your eyeliner. I prefer this one for eyeliner. I know sometimes I use this once in a while and some people do, but I think this is a better lip line for me. This one, the angled brush, that's what I'm used to, and that's what I put on my eyeliner with. It lays a super tight, extremely thin line, so you can do it right up against your lash line. It's gonna go exactly where you put it, and then you can either kind of smudge it along with this, or you can smudge it along with your pencil brush. So this is the Hotline brush. And then the spoolie end, I will sometimes use to brush my eyebrows up, especially if I've got a little bit too much color, too much concentration there. If I need to separate my eyelashes at all, especially the lower line, I will use it for that as well. So there are, I believe, 2 more brushes that I don't have yet. And one is the Best Blend Forever, and I think it's a newer brush that is for your skin. And I've heard good things about it, but I haven't tried it. And then there is a Blend and Tap, and that is an eyeshadow one. It's like a domed, fluffy little eyeshadow that I will be getting for sure, because I like to have different brushes for my eyeshadow just to get different effects. You know, some of them blur more, some of them pack the powder more, and I like having different options so that I don't feel like I'm getting my colors muddied whatsoever. So when you're done with a brush with each color, make sure you take a towel and you kind of swirl your brush on there, and that will get rid of a lot of the product on there, so that when you move to the next color, you're not muddying it at all. And then we also have, I love this Houdini brush cleaner, and it's from Maskcara Beauty, and you just squirt like a little squirt or two. It sprays out a really fine mist, and then you swirl it in the towel. And I tried this out just to see how much better it works than just swirling it on the towel to get some of those darker colors off, or to really get the brush cleaned well. And I had really scrubbed until I couldn't see any more color on the towel, and thought it was pretty clean. And then I sprayed it 1 or 2 squirts with the Houdini brush cleaner, and a ton more product came out. So it's really good for cleaning your brushes. It smells divine. It's got this cocoa, like a bakery smell. It smells so yummy. So it makes me hungry for sweets when I smell it. So if you, you know, some people take and I used to do this too, take a cup and used to soak your brushes with, you know, soapy water. And you can do that, but it's a lot harder on your brushes, and you're probably shortening the life of your brush. It can affect the bristles drying out and the quality of those, but also down in a lot of brushes, they are glued in there for extra staying power, and the water soaks up and can affect that glue. So then you can, you know, shorten the lifespan of your brush, make bristles fall out, make them more brittle. And so this is a much better option for when you need to clean your brushes. So that is all of the brushes I have. Like I said, there's only 2 I'm missing. I'll get those eventually and I'll show them to you. If you have any questions about anything else, there's no silly questions. I know, you know, the thing I love about Maskcara Beauty is it's revolutionary. It's different than anyone else who does it. And so there's going to be a tiny bit of a learning curve for you figuring out how this is going to work. So ask me any questions you have. If you want to see product or colors or whatever, let me know. And I'll put everything down in the description so you can see it. And thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon.